Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
England's largest councils are warning that unless the government increases funding, then the worst cuts to services are yet to come. The County Council's network says local authorities have already earmarked more than £1 billion of savings to be made by 2020, including cuts to libraries, transport, youth clubs and public health services. Here's our social affairs correspondent, Alison Holt.
Choose which one we want.
Shut the rest up.
It's families like the Finches who know all too well how difficult it has already become to get help from many local authorities when you face a crisis. Aged 8, Adam was diagnosed with brain and spinal cancer.
That has such an impact on family life. It feels like a grenade has just been thrown into your family and just shattered it all over the place.
They were really struggling, but their council, like many others, has reduced early family support. She worries about today's warning of more cuts.
In the current climate that we're living in, with such uncertainty, austerity, cuts to local government, it's had a great impact on all services that are provided to support families. As a parent of a child who has been through a chronic illness and will still continue to need a great deal of support, both physically and emotionally, to be quite frank with you, it's terrifying going further on into the future. Tea's ready.
A charity stepped in to provide them with vital day-to-day help.
How are things going with school?
Nationally, it's had a 12% rise in families asking for support this year, with cuts to council services a key reason.
I've spoken to some families where they literally have nowhere else to go, no one else to turn to. Families such as those, we do not want to see those families leading into a crisis situation. There's pressure on everyone, there's pressure on the whole system.
Part of the problem for councils is the unprecedented demand for services for the most vulnerable children. This year, the 36 largest authorities in England face a £264 million overspend on that support alone. And they predict there'll be a 10% overspend next year. Lincolnshire is one of the county councils warning that without extra money, there'll be unpalatable cuts to spending on roads, buses and children's centres like this one, if it's to meet its legal duty to protect children and adults with the highest needs.
If the government doesn't actually give us additional resources in a few years' time, I'm not confident as a council leader that we will be operating in a safe manner for the public of this county.
The government says councils will be provided with more than £90 billion over the next 2 years and that they make their own financial decisions. Alison Holt, BBC News.